Tom MacDonald is back at it again with the machine.
I am not Republican, I am not a liberal. Why the hell can't I just be American without getting political? The system gon' suppress us all, they don't care about the cost. How's this a democracy when we got communists in charge? Cancel culture Nazis, all they're missing is the swastikas. Honestly, this is a psychological holocaust. Pumping propaganda through the screen and straight into your brain. You ain't on a plantation, but you definitely still a slave. Race.
All right.
He's beefy.
Yeah, he is.
I didn't realize, like,
He's a strong guy.
He's a monster.
I really like how this one's been produced visually, with the flashing lights, not quite like lightning, but almost like a TV screen being flashed on and off in the next room, like through a window or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, I don't want this propaganda in my head. Like, I get you're watching it over there. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I've liked the way that's visually produced.
I really like, and I feel like I relate to where he starts right off like, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a liberal. You know, it's this whole concept of, I'm a dude in America just trying to do my thing. You know, why do we have to pick sides and do what we're told to do and battle each other? It's just dumb, and I'm on board with that.
Straight into your brain, you ain't on a plantation, but you definitely still a slave. Race theory is indoctrinating children. Tell blacks they're disadvantaged, tell whites they got white privilege. What a brilliant way to reinforce division. If whites believe they have it easy, they will never help you fight the system. And now they burning books in untraditional ways. They just traded newspapers for the digital age. Now the facts can be deleted with no physical flames. They just change the information and the truth gets erased.
That was amazing. First of all, like the message there, like we didn't really change anything. We just changed the way we do it. But the rhymes and the schemes there, that was solid. Without any physical flames. Fire.
Yeah, that interesting how the weapons of the past really aren't different from the weapons of the modern day.
Right.
They're different in kind, not even in kind, different in way of use, but they're of the same kind. Of the same category. We have the physical weapons, kinetic weapons, you could say, that kill people physically.
People, you know?
We've got the ideological weapons such as propaganda and trying to erase history.
Censorship.
But
yeah.
like, essentially, it's the same playbook, just applied to modern technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep screaming to wake up, but they're all woke, not awake. We know the system has failed us and all the media's fake. I swear the government hates us. Having opinions is dangerous. The system built to enslave us only works if we're afraid. I am not Republican.
Only works if we're afraid.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that will like stand up and say things. There's a lot more people, it feels like, that will instead be like, I'm too afraid I'm going to lose my job if I say anything, so I'm not going to say anything. And so you end up with that. That's correct. It only works if we're afraid.
Oh, we're sort of afraid. You know, you go outside, you go meet your neighbors, you go talk to people. It's all normal stuff. People don't do that to each other in real life that much, you know? But it gets more and more like that as it gets pushed, you know? But
yeah.
No, like go touch some grass, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and it's amazing how people will be so venomous to each other online through the comments sections, and then they'll see each other in real life.
Hey, man.
And they either say, oh, hey, man, and just walk on and be cordial, or they just don't interact. But like these hyper negative interactions are so rare in real life.
It's not good. It's not good. It's not good for your soul.
Enslave us only works if we're afraid. I am not Republican, I am not a liberal. Progressive and traditional are hitmen hired to kill the individual. They label people red or blue, divide us, they don't ever help. They want you thinking left or right, so you ain't thinking for yourself. Go ahead and vote, cause both the parties are the same side. Two teams, one coach, controlled by the same guys. Left wing, right wing, both help the same bird fly. Brainwashing everybody at the same time. The internet was once a place that we could get off.
Okay, I got it.
This is probably the best political song that he's written.
But it's because it doesn't feel like he's really trying to cater to one side.
Yeah, and he's not like ripping into people.
Leaning what you would consider right, or leaning anti-woke is probably how you describe it.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this leaning right per se. I would say, because I think most people on the right tend to think they're center, you know?
Yeah.
And most people on the left tend to think they're center. So whichever side you think you're on, you're like, this is a very central song. But this song is, like, that line about, like, right wing, left wing, they're all just helping the same bird fly. Mm-hmm. These lyrics are just so poignant. He's just painting this picture with all these different things, you know, using all these metaphors like birds and fire and all this stuff. And it helps to really clarify, to show it, to spark the imagination of like what this actually is, and giving us in the sense of metaphor rather than in the sense of just very clear, direct, like this is the thing, you know. But he just, I don't know, man, his lyrics are on fire today. On fire.
2 teams, 1 coach, all playing with the same playbook. Yeah.
Like, it's just like that verse was, I think, one of the best verses that Tom MacDonald has written. And he does good music.
He's lyrically, if not, he's not just very gifted. He might be the most lyrically gifted person.
He's up there.
Bird fly brainwashing everybody at the same time. The internet was once a place that we could get our facts from. Now it's been monopolized. It's Google or it's Amazon. Who fact checking the fact checkers? I can answer that one. The people who control the narratives through the platforms. Let me break this down for you, simple as I can, Kate. They use social conditioning to put you in the rat race. It doesn't matter if you're first or third or if you're last place. You're still a rat, and they're the cats who kill you so you can't escape.
Jeez. He's spitting with the song. I can see how this one is trending so high, where he has some songs that trend really high, some that don't. I can see how this one's trending because it's not so, it doesn't feel like he's trying to cater to one base so hard. It's just like, guys, look at what they're doing to you.
It's not like ripping on one of these political sides, right? He's not just like, oh, left is this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, nah, look, like there are a few people pulling the strings on some of these things. Like, who's checking the fact checkers? Well, I'll tell you that. It's like, the guys who are running the platform, man. It's like the news is fake and we all know it. Yeah, have you ever seen like any news source that you're like, I trust them? You know?
Well, yeah, there's actually a well-documented phenomenon where like an expert in a field will read an article and be like, that's not true, and then turn the page, and it's as if he completely forgot that they just wrote something completely incorrect that he knows about, and read and go, oh, they're trying to bomb my hometown. That's interesting. And then they move on to the next page. It's like, yes, there's heavy manipulation, but we just forget that because it's the news.
It's the news.
And that's the social conditioning that he was mentioning.
Now, musically right here, he did something that I really, really like. He brings it all to a full stop before he hits it again hard. Mm-hmm. And we kind of paused on that part, but we're going to watch it through. It's awesome.
If you're first or third or if you're last place, you're still a rat, and they're the cats who kill you so you can't escape. They keep screaming to wake up, but they're all woke, not awake. We know the system has failed us and all the media's fake. I swear the government hates us. Having opinions is dangerous. The system built to enslave us only works if we're afraid. I am not Republican, I am not a liberal. I am just a man who knows they're scared of a nation that's thinking critical. They kill us or they lock us up for nothing like we're criminals. Divide us because they know that unified we are invincible. Questioning the government's agenda is controversial, but promoting guns and liquor in our music is commercial. They're confusing us with pronouns they made up to make us triggered. You can call me what you want, but just don't call me late for dinner. School teaches you to learn and never teaches you to think. So you absorb misinformation, then you practice what they preach. You ain't free, can't you see that's how they want you to act? That's called conforming to the norm, you don't need freedom for that. I'm not Republican or liberal or left-wing or right-leaning. I took the red pills because that's who's fighting for my freedoms. And you don't need to choose to be accepted. They both fake teams. Evil runs the world now like hell ain't got no vacancy. They...
That entire verse, I couldn't, like, there were so many times I wanted to stop and talk about something, and it was just like, I can't.
No.
That is so gripping. He is so poignant with this. This is like back to some of the songs that really made me appreciate Tom MacDonald.
Yes.
Is they're so poignant. They rhyme so well.
There's no
flows
fluff.
Beautifully.
There's no fluff. There's nothing there that doesn't belong there. And it's not just like random bit, random bit, random bit. Every piece flows into the next piece, flows into the next piece, flows into the next piece. And it's not just like one to one to one. It's like each one stacks, boom, 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 until the end, bam. This is, and I say this about a few songs because a few songs from different artists, they merit this. This is a masterclass in lyric writing. Mm-hmm. Some important things here. A lot of times when we think of rhyming, we think of perfect rhymes, like cat and hat, you know? But we also have other types of rhymes, things like slant rhymes, family rhymes, imperfect rhymes is what they're called, where you're rhyming things with the same vowel sounds, but not with the same ending consonant. Mm-hmm. And you're able to make it feel and sound very natural without making it sound like a nursery rhyme. And you're able to have a lot more openness to what you can put in there. And he is doing a fantastic, fantastic job using especially imperfect rhyme, but just rhyme in general. And this is, like I said, this is a masterclass in lyric writing. If you want to like see how to get a bunch of lyrics that flow from one to another, that stack up on each other, that have like hard-hitting things, metaphor, message, all that stuff, and work together, I'd say listen to this song a bunch of times.
This song feels like you're watching some TV show, like a political TV show, and when it's right at its climax, when the main character is like laying down his full message to you as succinct as it could be. That's what this feels like.
Yeah.
Like you had a whole team of writers working on it for hours to make sure every word was perfect.
Yeah.
But
this one you had a whole team of Tom MacDonalds.
And Nova. Nova's pretty important to his success. By the way, I backed all the way up so we can listen to that verse again.
Thank you, thank you.
Don't build to enslave us, only works if we're afraid. I am not Republican, I am not a liberal. I am just a man who knows they're scared of a nation that's thinking critical. They kill us or they lock us up for nothing like we're criminals. Divide us because they know that unified we are invincible. Questioning the government's agenda is controversial, but promoting guns and liquor in our music is commercial. They're confusing us with pronouns they made up to make us triggered. You can call me what you want, but just don't call me late for dinner. School teaches you to learn and never teaches you to think. So you absorb misinformation, then you practice what they preach. You ain't free, can't you see that's how they want you to act? That's called conforming to the norm, you don't need freedom for that. I'm not Republican or liberal or left-wing or right-leaning. I took the red pills because that's who's fighting for my freedoms. And you don't need to choose to be accepted. They both fake teams. Evil runs the world now like hell ain't got no vacancy.
Like hell ain't got no vacancy.
Dude, that entire part in the middle, he's like, that's called conformity. You don't need freedom for that.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, you may have some limited modicum of freedom now, but it's as long as you're within these very tight bounds, you are free.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not freedom.
Yeah.
Look at the you have free range chickens, for example, right?
Okay.
You've got
Delicious.
the regular farmed chickens that are all sitting in a little tiny box that just stay in that box.
Hey, they are
their
free in that
entire
box.
life. They
Okay?
are free in that box.
Free in that box.
Then you've got the what do they call those? Free range, and then there's pasture raised. There are 3 different tiers.
Okay.
Free range is like, well, they have a couple square feet of outside they can go to, kind of when they want.
Okay. So that's kind of like at somebody's house, like when somebody raises their own chickens and they've got them like a 10-foot.
But what they do is they have these giant farms, and then they'll have a door on one end with a caged in like square of grass that chickens can walk to sometimes. That's what I feel like he's describing. He's like, you can stay within these boundaries, and you're not like completely locked down like North Korea style. You can do some things, but you still have these fairly tight bounds on where you're allowed to be. You don't need freedom to conform within those bounds. The freedom is the pasture raised. You can go out anywhere you want, and there may be some loose like fencing miles out there. And for a chicken that doesn't really care to roam around that much, that's fine. Having some tight bound or some large scale boundaries, like, hey, don't punch him, right? Things like that. That's okay. But having something like, hey, don't look at the wrong guy, you'll get in trouble for that. That's completely different.
Don't say things a certain way, and stuff like that.
You don't need freedom for that.
Taxes. Don't get me started on taxes, man.
Yeah, and what they're doing is using social media and the news and conformity to tell you what is okay to think, what is okay to believe, what is okay to say and not to say. Even though there may not be those tight bounds around it, society is pressuring those bounds tighter and tighter as we move on. You don't really need the rules if you're able to enforce them by some other way. So, very interesting, the thoughts brought up by these lines.
They keep screaming to wake up, but they're all woke, not awake. We know the system has failed us and all the media's fake. I swear the government hates us. Having opinions is dangerous. The system built to enslave us only works if we're afraid.
That was very well put together.
Yeah, that was good. That was peak Tom MacDonald.
Yeah, that was, Tom MacDonald's done a lot of different types of music. He's sung about, like, some of my favorite songs are Castles, Cancer, Bad News, some of those.
I like Church. I really like Church.
But then he's also done a lot of, like, political things where, like, he did that one with Blair White, and he did, like, the
Ben
one
Shapiro.
where he's,
the Ben
like,
Shapiro song was really
sitting
popular.
at the news thing. What is that? Like, Clown World, or, like, Everyone's Stupid, or whatever. Anyway. And those ones are a little more, like, punch in the face to the people being dumb. This one's more like, hey, guys, we're all on the same team here. Let's all stop doing it. Let's, like, just look and see this. Like, we're all just following along.
Would you just look at it?
Like that.
Like that.
Anyway.
If you've never seen that video, just check that out. Would you just look at it? Yeah, it's funny.
That was good stuff. Stay tuned. Subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Let us know your recommendations.
Look, go check out his video with Ben Shapiro. That was pretty funny.
Castles. Castles is a cool song.
I like Castles.
Castles is cool.